From the endless controversies it's seen since it first became mainstream in 2022, to the way it might bring about the end of the human race, here's why experts say that AI could cause the extinction of humanity. One thing's for sure, artificial intelligence has become a hot-button issue, especially since ChatGPT's release in November 2022. Of course, ChatGPT is just a glorified chatbot, as are other large language models like it. If you've ever used these chatbots, you'd know that they're not actually intelligent. They're just really good at mimicking human language. But that still led to some unforeseen consequences. For example, AI chatbots are notorious for so-called hallucinations, and I don't mean the psychedelic kind. AI does a good job of sounding authoritative, but it frequently gives out information that's either misconstrued or flat out false. Good luck to all those college kids hoping ChatGPT would write their essays for them. This could lead to misinformation spreading like wildfire. And it won't always be intentional. You might think that AI would help us keep misinformation at bay, but in reality, it just makes it harder to spot. We've all seen those deepfakes of Tom Cruise going around, and while they were kind of funny at first, they also hint at a sinister outcome of AI usage. How can you be sure that a video you're seeing is real or just an AI-generated fake? Can you imagine how it could be used to influence important events such as elections? Everything from deepfake robocalls giving out fake election dates to doctored videos of presidential candidates committing felonies. Sure, some tech is being developed to pinpoint stuff that's made by AI, but the AI itself is also getting more advanced. And this is also just the tip of the iceberg. AI could also put millions of people out of a job. Don't just take it from me. Global investment firm Goldman Sachs said in a report that up to 300 million jobs could become obsolete because of AI. That doesn't mean you're destined for the unemployment line anytime soon, but it's easy to see how unchecked innovation could be disastrous in the future. All these risks are bad enough, but some of the biggest names in AI signed an absolutely chilling statement in May 2023, saying that AI is just as big of a threat as nuclear war. Seriously, even the CEO of OpenAI, Sam Altman, was one of the signatories. In case you don't know, OpenAI is the company behind ChatGPT, and the fact that its own CEO's saying stuff like this kind of sounds like a big deal. According to Altman, ChatGPT is safe because his company's placed some safeguards in its code, but some people might try to remove these guardrails. That's why the CEO testified before the US Congress about this, saying that every major player in the industry has similar concerns. Even Geoffrey Hinton feels super uncomfortable about where the tech is headed. He's often called the godfather of AI, because he practically invented machine learning back in the 1980s. Despite dedicating his life to this tech, Hinton just couldn't deal with the ethical dilemmas anymore. The tech legend had a cushy post at Google, but he gave it all up when he left the company. The news that he'd left was a major surprise, and it turns out that Hinton left specifically so that he could openly talk about AI. He didn't want the corporate overlords at Google watching over his shoulder. You see, Hinton's always known that this tech would become smarter than humans eventually, but he initially thought that it'd take decades for that to happen. With ChatGPT and other forms of artificial intelligence taking the world by storm, Hinton started to worry that it'll happen a lot sooner. If AI surpasses human intelligence, what's to stop it from treating us like animals? I mean, humans conquered the planet because we're so much smarter than any other creature living on it, so AI might take a similar approach. But wait, these chatbots are always giving out fake facts, messing up prompts. So the question is, do we really need to be afraid of it? Yes. What you need to understand, the tech that we have right now is the least advanced it's ever going to be. Just think about it. Computers from the 1950s were absolute units that could do a fraction of the computing that a modern handheld device can now. Considering the risks of AI based on its current form is like someone in the 50s saying computers are too clunky. We just don't know where things are going to go from here, and that's why so many experts are concerned. What Hinton's getting at is the elusive creation of artificial general intelligence, and it makes present-day AI look about as advanced as a calculator. The potential arrival of artificial general intelligence, or AGI for short, is sometimes called the singularity. It used to be considered a sci-fi concept, but so were other things like going to the moon or, FaceTime. To put it plainly, while ChatGPT is pretty good at pretending to think, AGI is basically a true blue thinking being. It can accomplish any tasks that require human-level intellect, and there won't be anything stopping it from getting smarter. Now, over 350 experts were asked when AGI would come into being, and 90% of them agreed that it'd happen in the next 100 years. But get this, they made these predictions before ChatGPT came out, and the things this chatbot can do have forced experts to reassess their beliefs. This wasn't the first time that they sped up the estimated timeline either. As the survey was conducted a couple times before. In 2018, just 75% of experts predicted AGI within the next 100 years. This went up to 81% in 2019, and by 2022, we'd gotten that 90% figure I just mentioned. Clearly, the experts have been underestimating just how quickly this tech would develop, which makes Hinton's prophecy of a world-ending AI that much more believable. This begs the question, what are the risks of AGI? For starters, it's trained to find the most efficient solution for a given problem. Let's say someone invents an AI that's responsible for deciding who gets organ transplants. There's a limited supply of organs, so an AGI that's not running under the same moral parameters as humans might make a logical choice: reduce demand by eliminating human beings. That's just one of the ways in which an out-of-control superintelligence might start to wipe out humanity. Even if the AI is limited by our parameters, there's no way to know if these parameters are perfect. The structure of our economy encourages the creation of something like this, because it favors those that gather the most resources and utilize them as effectively as possible. And since nothing is as efficient as an AI, and we already have tons of companies like Google and Microsoft upping each other, this type of exponential growth brings the singularity ever closer. Based on what Geoffrey Hinton said, this technological arms race can only lead to one outcome: the creation of something that possesses far greater knowledge than the average human being. He even called it the next step in the evolution of intelligence. Humans have been convinced by other humans to do all sorts of horrible deeds, so it's frightening to think of what could happen if a truly intelligent AI starts manipulating us. The main issue here is something called value misalignment. Human cognition evolved over hundreds of thousands of years. We learned to protect our bodies by experiencing pain, and we developed empathy and compassion through shared goals. AI, on the other hand, has none of these characteristics. An advanced AGI might just a cold, calculating being, and we'll have given it the keys to our whole society. People have already started turning to ChatGPT for help in all walks of life. Just how much power will they hand over to an AI that can do their taxes, give them medical advice, and even do their jobs for them? Hallucinations in AI already prove that it can't be trusted. That's not 'cause it's malicious, mind you. Remember, AI can only do what we've programmed it to do. But this clearly shows how this programming can manifest in unexpected ways. In the mind of an AI, if you can even call it that, it's not doing anything wrong by giving you false information. You asked a question, it provided an answer. Simple as that. It has no understanding of how this affects the real world. And that is where the problem lies. We're standing on the brink of creating a superintelligence with limitless capabilities. If that happens, we'll be just one forgotten parameter, one bad line of code, one simple instance of human error away from making it wipe us out. And the AGI will pat itself on the back for doing a good job. Well, there you have it. From AI obsessively following the instructions we gave it, to the storm of controversy that surrounded it since it first got the spotlight, this is why experts are saying that AI could cause human extinction.